start playing fingerstyle guitar but have found other tutorials maybe a little bit overwhelming? Well, we're going to look at one simple pattern, and it's going to be played over two basic beginner guitar chords. And we'll even use this pattern in short snippets of some easy songs to get you started. So stick around. So the two chords we're going to use are C and A minor, and you can see the charts there. And we're using our third finger, second finger, open third string, first finger, and the open E string. We've also got A minor, which is almost the same. And we've got the open A string, second finger, third finger, first finger, and then the open E string. And I think these are two really good chords for this pattern, for this fingerstyle pattern, because the pattern is going to be exactly the same for both chords. There's not going to be any kind of fiddling around. Now, if you don't know those chords, you can click the link here. There are full tutorials for those two chords. Let's talk about the pattern now. And the pattern is the same for both chords, which is great. And let's look at the C major chord. It's our C major chord. Now our thumb is going to play the fifth string. Our fifth string. Our first finger is going to play the third string. Our second finger is going to play the second string. And the third finger is going to play the open E string. And the timing is like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty simple, but of course it will take your picking hand to get used to doing this, just playing individual strings. Now, one thing I'm trying to do is let the strings ring out. So when I pick, for example, the fifth string, I'm letting it ring out by picking it, and so I'm picking downwards, and it's then resting on the fourth string, the D string. And that way, it also helps me stay close to the string, so I'm not going all over the place. And then I've got, so that's your thumb, then the first finger is picking, and you're picking upward motion with the fingers. So thumb is going down, pick up on the G string, pick up on the B string, pick up on the high E string. And when you're doing that, as I said, you're trying to let the strings ring out. So you can still hear the fifth string when I'm picking the third and second and first strings. So all the strings ring out nicely. Now, interestingly, even with only one chord, we can actually play a song. It's a bit of a psychedelic tune. We can play Tomorrow Never Knows. And Tomorrow Never Knows is just one chord all the way through. And you can just do this. Turn off your mind, relax and flow downstream. It is not dying. I mean, immediately with this picking pattern, you've got a tune you can play. And that's the same key as as on the record as well, so you can actually just play along to the record. I think maybe it's a little bit faster. And what you would have is you're playing 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a bar, that's a measure. So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn off your mind, relax. So you've got that. You can pretty much play that whole song. So why don't you pause the record, or pause this video, and just have a bit of a practice with that. So we're going to transition into the A minor chord, and C, A minor. And the great thing about this, as I mentioned at the beginning, is that the pattern that you're going to use is exactly the same. So the thumb is going to do the same thing. The first finger, second finger, and third finger are going to do exactly the same thing. So we're picking, now we're picking the open string. So where before we had on the C chord, we were picking the 3rd fret, but now it's A minor, we're picking the open A string, the 5th string, and then G, B, D. Open, G, B, D. Open A, G, B, D. A, G, B, D. And exactly the same motion. So the thumb is going down and the fingers are picking upwards. Down, up, up, up. Down, up, up, up. Down, up, up, up. See how you can do the same thing with the G and the E minor chord right here. Now before we look at some song snippets, let's talk about the transition itself. And the great thing about these two chords is that they're kind of similar. They have the 1st and 2nd fingers in common, right? So when you're going from C to A minor, all you need to do is lift up this finger and tuck it in behind the 2nd finger on the 2nd fret of that G string. But one thing to watch out for though, when you do this change, whether you're finger picking or just strumming chords, your 2nd finger, that finger there, needs to shift back a little bit. It needs to go that way towards the tuning pegs so that you can have some space to fit that 3rd finger onto the fret. Because one thing you don't want to do is this. If you don't change, if you don't shift back, what will happen is this. You get this very dampened sound because your 3rd finger is on the fret. So this is a really important part to get a clean sounding chord for that A minor when you're transitioning. So you need to pick up, shift back a little bit here, squeeze in there, and then you'll have a cleaner sounding A minor chord. And then when you're going back to the C major, you can shift up that 2nd finger and then tuck in your, well not tuck in, then slide in your 3rd finger on the 3rd fret of that A string. And I found that when I make that change, I get like little squeaking noises. I'm not sure if it's coming through on the mic. And if I don't have that squeaking noise, then I know I'm not really doing the change correctly. And that's one of the worst things that you can have. It's horrible, that. So bear that in mind when you're transitioning from, or changing from C major to A minor. Just before we talk about the songs, just a word on fingernails here. Now with your fretting hand, then you want to keep your fingernails short. However, with your picking hand, you can let your fingernails grow a little bit, because sometimes picking the string with your fingernail gives it a nicer sound. Now, unfortunately, my fingernails aren't that long at the moment, but I can still feel the string under my finger, under my fingernail. Especially with the 1st finger. I think the 1st finger is a touch longer. But in general, you can keep your picking hand, the nails slightly longer, but this hand, you want to keep the nails short, because otherwise what will happen is you'll find yourself digging in to the fretboard, and that can, well, first of all, that's painful, and secondly, that's going to stop a good clean sound. The other thing with your picking hand is make sure your fingers are arched nicely. That will stop, for example, that will stop the 3rd finger touching the 4th string and dampening it and doing this. Now, not that it matters so much with this finger picking. However, if this finger isn't arched very well, you'll dampen the 3rd string and you'll end up with, you see, something like that, and buzzing and all sorts of horrible sounding sounds. Okay, let's talk about songs, and we're going to practice the C and the A minor using snippets of 4 great songs. And the first one is Anna. The Beatles did this on their Please Please Me album, but I think it was written by Arthur Alexander. And it goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Anna, you come and ask me, girl, to set you free, girl. You say he loves you. Now it goes into some different chords here, but you're getting the beginning part of the song, and it's giving you a chance to actually play something real rather than just doing C to A minor, C to A minor with nothing going on as well. So let's try a second song. The second song is Well Respected Man. 'Cause he gets up in the morning and he goes to work at 9. And he comes back home at 5:30, gets the same train every time. 'Cause this world is built round punctuality, it never fails. 'Cause he's oh so good, and he's oh so kind, and he's oh so healthy in his body and his mind. He's so well respected. And that's a lot more of the song just with 2 chords. Does go into other chords, goes into an F and a D, I think it is there. But you know, again, you've got the bones of the song. If you're getting value out of this video, then why not like and subscribe to the channel? And if you want me to do any full-length tutorials of these songs, then let me know down in the comments. However, I do have a full version of the Kinks song, Well Respected Man, and you can click the link right there. Maybe Baby by Buddy Holly. And we're not playing it in the same, we're not using the same chords as on the record, because we're just using C and A minor because they're great chords. And Maybe Baby is, again, we're just going C, A minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe baby, I'll have you. Maybe baby, you'll be true. Maybe baby, I'll have you. And again, it goes to some different chords, but we're getting used to playing good chords. And the last song is a snippet of the classic Roy Orbison tune, Pretty Woman. And again, this one is not using the same chords. We're using C and A minor, as you know, but on the record, I think it's A and F sharp minor, just like the Buddy Holly song. And so Pretty Woman, 1, 2, 3, 4. Pretty woman, got that wrong. 1, 2, 3, pretty woman, walking down the street, pretty woman, the kind I like to meet, pretty woman. And it changes there. But with those 4 songs, you've got little snippets that can help you start getting used to the feel of this finger picking pattern. Now in the description there is a playlist for the full chord tutorials and also for the Kinks video if you want to practice that. But if you want more personalized one-on-one lessons, then I'm on a platform called Till. It's a good learning platform for guitarists. There's a link down below in the description as well. And thank you so much for joining me today. Happy finger picking. A very old friend came back today, that he was telling everyone in town all the love that he just found. And Marie's her latest flame.